Today, take your bending from this to this. Welcome back, everybody, to the Key of E. I'm your host, Nader, and today we're going to be talking about bending. So, normally, what I do in this channel is a lot of guitar reviews, but also I am planning on starting a playlist on a lot of things related to guitar techniques, to just music in general, and helping you out. So, on episode one, which is this episode, we're going to be talking about getting better at bending the strings on a guitar. I think this is going to be helpful for anybody who's been learning guitar and is struggling with bending the strings. And I believe that the three things that I'm going to be providing today will be very helpful to a lot of you. So, first, let's talk a little bit about bending. What is bending? Bending is essentially getting a pitch of another note. There are so many different types of bendings. There's, one and a half bending, bend up release, one full step bending, half tone bending. There's a lot of things that people can do on the guitar in order to bend and, getting to that note. What is nice about the guitar is that it's a stringed instrument and it's a very feely instrument. We can do a lot with the actual strings, bending the strings, ensuring that we get this, feel. Look at David Gilmour. Look at, all of these different guitarists that can create solos with bending. In this particular video, we're only going to be talking about two types of bending, the very common ones, which is one full note and one half note. If you could master these two bending styles, then you are going to be set for a long time and your actual playing technique will be a lot better. Your solos will be a lot more flavorful. Okay, so in this video, we're going to be doing three different things that will help you get your bends a lot better. The very first thing that I see a lot of, not even just amateur guitarists in general, is using the wrong finger to bend. There's always going to be three fingers involved when it comes to bending. It's not going to be the index alone, it's not going to be the middle alone, it's always going to be the ring finger. First two fingers are there to support. I see a lot of people bend like this, and a lot of people bend like this. And as you can see, that is not ideal. That is not something that you want to do. The proper way to bend a guitar is always utilizing three fingers in order to ensure that you have the best stability on the fretboard. So all three of them, with the ring finger being the one that is doing the heavy pulling. So let's say you want to bend the fifth string on the G, you would do it this way. So that's the very first thing that a lot of people do wrong. Always master this position. It has to be the three. Second thing, now when it comes to bending, we discussed one full step and one half step. What I really want everybody here watching this video is to focus on actually achieving that tonality. What are we trying to do when we say we're bending one full step? What you are bending is one note up completely. As an example, let's say we are bending on the G string. Let's start with the G string. This is, this guitar is in standard tuning. Let's say we're trying to bend the fifth fret on the G string. Well, the proper bending is supposed to sound like the seventh fret on the G string. So if you bend one full step, then what you should be hearing is the seventh fret. Example, like this. That is something that a lot of people have a problem with. What I want everybody on this video is to practice this on the daily, where you go in and you start doing full bends into the other note that it's supposed to be. And then you will know whether you're doing a good job at bending them or not. Simple exercise every day, 10 minutes, no more than 10 minutes. I know it's boring. I know it doesn't sound so good. I know it's not the most amazing thing that you could do on the guitar. I totally get that. But it's so important that I do recommend that everybody who's an inspiring guitarist that wants to do this should definitely know how to do this. So every day for 10 minutes, take any note that you want to bend. But whenever you bend, always skip the middle note. And that's the note that you're supposed to hear. So if you're bending on 5, you're going to hear 7. If you're bending on 7, you're going to hear 9. And that's a full bend. That's the most common bend. If you are able to get that tonality down, then you know you did something correct. And it doesn't need to apply on the, on the example that I just showed. It could be done, for example, on the 12th, which should sound like the 14th fret on the G string, or on the B string, or on the E string. For example, let's do the G string 12th fret. The other thing is that, just like we discussed, there's also half tone. What is half tone? Same concept. You're bending to get into the half of a tone. For example, if you're bending on the A, you're trying to get to the A sharp. As simple as that. Similarly to what we discussed, that what we were talking about with the full note bending, try as much as possible to also practice these half tone bending whenever they apply. Take something simple like the Phrygian, and I will try to put it on this screen right now. You can pause it anytime and look at the Phrygian scale. But take something like the Phrygian and try to see if you can get this, 12 to 13 note as well, so you can get your tonality. Lastly, this is going to be a lot more demanding than what we just discussed. This is going to be something that you will need to do, and it's honestly one of the hardest things. So once you've established how to bend utilizing the three fingers, right? Making sure that you're using all three fingers to bend, not one, not two, all three of them. I keep stressing this point. And you are now able to identify the tonality of a full bend and of a half bend. Now it's time to increase your technique by applying vibrato. There's a lot of different vibratos, but I'm just going to give you a piece of advice on how to do vibrato the way I learned how to do it, at least in my mind. To me, a vibrato is an oscillating note. Think of it as something that is, going up and down in the musical scale. As far as the technique, what you really want to do is, like I said, have these three fingers in that position, bending up, and then using your wrist. This is the movement that you're going after. You put your thumb, just imagine this is the neck of the guitar. So your thumb is here. And what you're doing is you're bending. And as you can see, I'm using my entire wrist in order to do vibrato. That will take a while, but it is all about steadying the thumb and moving freely the wrist. Again, I will show this again. You put your thumb on the back, bend with the three fingers, and using your wrist, you're moving your fingers like this. What I would recommend is start doing it slowly. This would be an example. Okay, I know it doesn't sound good. I understand that. But the idea here is to make sure that your fingers are doing that and your wrist is learning how to move like this. Once you get that done, you should be able to bend and increase the speed of that oscillating motion a little bit. As long as in your mind you are using the three fingers, remaining in pitch, and vibrating in an oscillating motion, not in a hectic motion like this. Right? That's not musical. That's not something that is ideal. That is not something that is good. And that's about it from me when it comes to this particular episode on bending. It's going to be part of a playlist. I will be demoing or reviewing this guitar next week, or for the next episode that comes up. Please like and subscribe. This is a beautiful PRS Custom 2410 Tapiezza that I used for this video. And I hope you liked this video. I hope you found it helpful. I know this is not super in-depth, and doing something in front of the camera is always more difficult than doing it in live or in person. But I hope that this information is helpful for you, at least to get started with bending and ensuring that you have flavorful solos, that you're hitting the note, that it doesn't sound bad. And please like and subscribe. I'm almost at 100 subscribers, which is going to be a milestone for me. When I started this about a month ago, I had like 12. So I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but I'm very grateful for every single subscriber. So if you like this content, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification icon. I would totally appreciate it. And stay tuned to the end of the video. I'm just going to be playing a small solo with bending. I'm going to be focusing on that more than anything else in that video, that technique. Rock on.